Hello everyone. Today we will discuss a technique for aggregation known as bagging. Okay. Bagging stands for actually bootstrap aggregating. Okay. Bagging stands for bootstrap aggregating. So as the name suggests, it is an aggregation technique which involves bootstrap. Okay. Aggregation means what? You have to somehow combine the results from multiple models. So that is called as aggregation. And bootstrap, of course, all of us know. Okay. So let us try to describe how bagging would work in the tree setup, classification tree or a regression tree. The bagging technique can actually be used for many different models. Okay. It doesn't have to be just trees. Here we would first describe in terms of trees, but then it can be applied to regression also for that matter. Okay. So what do we do? So I have a sample O1, O2, On consisting of variables x1, x2, xp. This is my data, and of course I have a response variable y. Using this I have to do modeling via say classification tree or a regression tree. Now what we would do in bagging, instead of fitting a tree to the entire data, or even other option was dividing the data into different folds and then fitting the model to say k-1 folds, but we won't do that. In bagging what we would do is, first we would generate B bootstrap samples from the given data. Okay, we would generate B bootstrap samples from the given observations or from the given data. How do we generate bootstrap samples? Do you remember? What we do is, from these O1, O2, On, we have to generate a new sample of size n again, but that sample is generated with replacement. As a result, some of the observations would be repeated and some of the observations would be dropped. And this procedure we have to repeat B times, capital B times. Okay. Then what we will do, for each sample fit a tree. Okay. To each bootstrap sample I fit a separate tree. So what I would have is B trees. So we get B trees, and all these trees are unpruned. Okay, we don't do pruning. We grow an entire tree and use it as it is. Okay, so I have B different trees. Now what do I do? For every observation, predict the output via each of these B trees. Okay. For every observation, predict the output via each of these B trees and then combine those outputs to get the final output. Combine, which is nothing but aggregate. So combine or aggregate those outputs to get the final prediction. What do I mean by aggregation here? See, depending on whether you are dealing with a classification tree or regression tree, things would change. If you are dealing with a regression tree, then your final prediction would simply be average of the individual predictions. So your yi hat prediction for ith observation would be 1 upon B, 1 upon capital B, sum over j going from 1 to capital B, yi hat from jth tree. Okay, if suppose yi hat j is a prediction from jth tree for ith observation, then average over all predictions would be the final prediction. This is in the case of a regression tree. For a classification tree, of course, we can't take average. So what we do is we go for a mode. So for classification tree, yi hat would be mode of yi hat j, where j goes from 1 to up to b. You take prediction from each tree and you take mode of those predictions. Make sense? So what you are doing is, instead of predicting from one tree, you are actually predicting from b different trees. Okay, and of course you can't get b different trees from the same data, so you are going for bootstrapping so that you have slightly different sample each time and hence different tree. In fact, we saw it as one of the cons of trees, that the trees are not stable. So if the sample changes, then the tree changes. So as a result, when you do bootstrap, you get a different sample every time and hence you get a different, almost different tree every time. Okay. Now, do you think this is a sensible method? I mean, intuitively, do you feel it's a sensible method? See, it is exactly like what we say, it's like democracy. You are kind of giving everyone a vote here. So you have B trees, and instead of allowing any one tree to decide the fate, you are relying on the opinion of B different trees. Okay, we say Pachamukhi Parameshwar. So it's something like that. Of course, it does improve things up to some extent. How? Because again, when you say take variance of x bar, it is sigma square by n, whereas variance of individual observation is always sigma square. Okay, this I am talking in the IID setup, nothing to do with trees or whatever we are doing currently. In IID univariate setup, this is the case. So here also in bagging, you are kind of averaging over predictions from multiple trees. So the variance and hence the error is reduced up to some extent due to averaging. Okay, averaging reduces the error up to certain extent. Of course, the error is not reduced up to this extent because this is in the case of average based on uncorrelated observations. Whereas here, my yi hat j's need not be uncorrelated. So yi hat 1 is prediction for yi based on first tree and yi hat 2 is a prediction based on second tree. These two need not be uncorrelated. Why? Because you are predicting the same observation and the model for this and model for this, they have some common observations underlying them. Okay, your two bootstrap samples are not going to be completely distinct. In most of the cases, they will share a significant number of observations and hence these predictions are not completely uncorrelated. Okay, as a result, the reduction in error is not as drastic as it would be here, but still it is pretty good. In many cases, bagging does improve results significantly. Okay, and in trees it works better. I mean, in trees it is more used compared to other techniques because trees are inherently unstable. Okay, they are not robust. They give you different predictions even if there is a change in one of the observations. Hence, that instability is reduced up to great extent via bagging. Because you are averaging in bagging, most of the minor errors get balanced and you get a better stable prediction. Okay, is the concept of bagging clear to everyone? What I do is, every time I draw a sample of size n, it's a bootstrap sample, so it is sampling with replacement. You draw b such samples, for each sample fit a tree and get the final combined prediction. This is the concept of bagging. Okay, as I said, one of the advantages is it reduces the instability of trees, reduces the error due to averaging. Okay, so due to averaging, error is reduced. Even if you take mode, it's kind of like averaging in categorical data. Okay, because you are relying on opinion of multiple trees instead of one tree, error is reduced. Okay, I initially said we are doing it for the entire sample. We are not doing validation set business. Of course, we would want to estimate test error in the bagging setup also. So why don't we go for validation approach or k-fold validation approach? Because we have another option called as out of bag error, which can help for estimating the test error, which can act like a proxy for test error. what is meant by out of bag error? See, suppose I have only 5 observations and my bootstrap sample suppose ends up being this. It means that my sample does not include O4 and O5. My bootstrap sample contains only O1, O2, O3. Okay. So when I fit a model to this bootstrap sample, my model is actually not based on these two, even though it is a model fitted to the training data. Getting it? Let me repeat. When I fit a model to this bootstrap sample, my bootstrap sample doesn't contain O4, O5. As a result, my model is not based on O4, O5. Okay. So we say that O4, O5 are out of bag for this particular model. Okay, the model fitted on this data. We say that O4, O5 are out of bag. So if I predict O4, O5 on the basis of this model, then they are known as out of bag predictions. And as you can see, it is similar to test predictions because O4, O5 were not involved in fitting the model over here. Hence, they are similar to test predictions. Okay. So such type of out of bag observations or out of bag predictions would be used to get estimate for test error. Okay. So if you have B trees, it has been proved that generally every observation would be out of bag for roughly 1/3 of the trees. Okay. Every observation would be out of bag. It is called as OOB, out of bag for so it is not my short form. Okay, it's a standard acronym, OOB. So every observation would be out of bag for roughly B/3 trees. Okay, so what you do is, first you do bagging, you get the trees. After getting the trees, you start with say observation 1. After fitting the tree, you start with say observation 1. You see for which trees observation 1 is out of bag. So now you have B trees, T1, T2, TB. Suppose O1 was not present in first bootstrap sample, so it is out of bag for this. Suppose it was not in the second sample also, suppose it was not here and say here. So it was out of bag for these 4 trees. So what you do? You predict O1 only on the basis of these 4 trees. Okay. And then take average or mode depending on whether it's a classification tree or regression tree, and take that prediction as test prediction or ideally out of bag prediction for O1. Okay. You repeat this exercise for every observation. For every observation, you locate the trees in which that observation was not present and then take prediction only from those trees and take average or mode of those predictions to get O1 hat, O2 hat and so on up to ON hat. Okay, so these are now my out of bag predictions, and now using these predictions we can compute out of bag error. So if it's a regression setup, you simply take y1 minus y1 hat, where this is y1 hat. Ideally I shouldn't call it O1 hat, ideally I should call it y1 hat, y2 hat, yn hat. These are OOB predictions, so maybe I can write OOB here. Okay, and you use actual y1, y2, yn and compute the error, either misclassification error or mean squared error. Okay, that becomes your out of bag error, and out of bag error is a good indicator of the test error. Okay, so far? So this is how bagging works. You aggregate over multiple trees and then you take out of bag error as the estimate of test error. Now of course, I am sure all of you have been wondering, what about B? What should be the choice of B? Okay, what should be the choice of B? So here large B does not lead to overfitting. Okay, so far we have always been seeing, be careful, you shouldn't overfit. But here interestingly, large B does not lead to overfitting. Why? Because even if you have large B, you are not making a single model too flexible. What you are doing is you are having B models. So every model is technically on a different sample, at least a portion of that sample is different. As a result, large B does not lead to overfitting. So you can play safe and take a very large B. But the problem is large B does increase computational intensity. Remember how much efforts are needed in fitting one tree, and you have to fit B such trees. So large B definitely increases computational intensity. Hence you need a moderate B. You shouldn't take very large B. So how do you choose optimal moderate B? What you do is you plot test error. If you have a test set separately, then test error or out of bag error with respect to B. So you try different number of B's and post the test error, out of bag error, and generally the point at which it becomes stable, okay, after a point it becomes more or less parallel to x-axis. So the point at which it becomes stable can be your ideal value for B. Okay, it can be seen that in most of the cases B near 200 does give pretty good results. So you don't have to go for 5000 bootstrap samples or something. B near 200 does give pretty decent results. Okay, of course initially as you increase B there is a decrease, but after a certain stage that decrease doesn't matter much. Okay, it is not significant. So at that point you stop and you go with those many trees. Okay, this is how you choose B in bagging. Now as I said, trees are not the only models where you can do bagging. You can do bagging in regression setup. So think about it. As a homework, try to describe how you would do bagging in the regression setup. Not just not just linear regression, even in the logistic regression. Okay. So now that we have discussed the concept of bagging, I would stop here. Thank you.